Every little idea we give you today, no matter what source, no matter what little hack, no matter what script we give you, I want you to also commit to practicing your listing presentation. Don't tell me I have imposter syndrome. I'm not sure I'm good enough. Maybe you're not. Start getting better, right? And I'm not saying don't go after them, because the thing of it is, drivers don't care if they qualify. They don't care if they are good enough.
True.
Get the listing and fake it. And I'm not saying be an imposter, but if you fear that you don't have what you need, get what you need.
My pleasure to welcome back to the show Coach Amy Lassen. Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
Always good to see you. Today's topic is how to get more listings. As Eyerusalem was discussing a couple minutes ago, in many markets, a listing is like a paycheck. So we want more of those. Maybe we don't want more buyers, but we want more sellers right now. So let's discuss how we can accomplish that. Where do you want to start?
Oh my goodness, this is a tough. It's tough to know where to start, because, Charlie, it's been a little bit of a discouraging week for me as a coach when I have a few clients who have spent the year being timid. Like, really, really confident people tend to take action in all circumstances.
Okay.
People who are timid by nature, what is it going to take for them to be in action? And so, talking about being in action, getting more leads, getting more listing leads has been falling on deaf ears with some of the people that I coach. They're like, that doesn't work. I tried that already. Been there, done that. Tomorrow I'm going to take a class. And I'm like, no, don't take a class. Spend that time doing your lead generation. So honestly, it's hard to know where to begin. You and I, between us, have a lot of really great suggestions for ways that you can get in front of people who are getting ready to list. So do you have a place you want to start?
I think it starts with database, people who already know us, like us, and trust us. And have we been in touch with our database? And not only that, is everybody that we know in our database is our dental hygienist in our database, right? I had a coaching client that got a listing from her doctor. How many of us are confident enough to ask our doctor about real estate?
But see, this gets to my point about confidence.
Yeah, right.
So what I want to say is, every little idea we give you today, no matter what source, no matter what little hack, no matter what script we give you, I want you to also commit to practicing your listing presentation. Don't tell me I have imposter syndrome. I'm not sure I'm good enough. Maybe you're not. Start getting better, right? And I'm not saying don't go after them, because the thing of it is, drivers don't care if they qualify. They don't care if they are good enough.
True.
Get the listing and fake it. And I'm not saying be an imposter, but if you fear that you don't have what you need, get what you need. You will get better with practice. So confidence can be won. So keep going.
No, I think that's valuable advice. And because a listing is a paycheck, getting those listings is harder, right? The idea that you need to compete, there's more competition out there now, right? People are quick to cut their commission. People are quick to overpromise on the price to try to get the seller to sign with them, right? So, these are common things. But getting back to the database piece, honestly, everybody that you know, are they in your database? If not, go to theallegianceway.com, download the memory jogger, and that will help you come up with everybody that should be in your database. So point A is are we contacting everybody in the database? And when I hear that, I immediately think, well, is everybody that you know actually in the database, right? So, and then now let's talk about briefly, so what do I say when I contact them, right? This is always a thing, right? It's been too long. I'm embarrassed. I don't want to just reach out and have commission breath, right? So let's assume that we've not been in flow with some of these people, and we get back in touch with them. What do we say? And we don't want to spend all of our time on this, but I think we probably should touch on it if somebody's just watching this particular show.
Okay, I have two specific things. One, my favorite thing, and I am not an aggressive salesperson. I am not a pushy driver. So When I say be direct, it's because I actually don't want to be embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to butter them up. I don't want to beat around the bush and feel uncomfortable and smell my own commission breath.
Yeah.
So to be direct and say, hey, super quick, I'm calling with my real estate hat on, or I'm calling with a very specific real estate question. I'm calling with a very specific real estate question. Just skip to the end. Yep. Now they know, right? Here's my very specific real estate question. We at X brokerage have so many more enthusiastic, qualified buyers than homes we can show them. I'm having to think outside the box. I'm having to beat the bushes and ask every single person I know, are you that 1 in 10? Are you one of the people in that 10% who's planning to list your home in the next 12 months or so? Are you? And they'll probably say no. What are the chances they'll say no? 90%.
Right.
Because 90% of the people aren't moving. So don't be so discouraged. Don't go, oh, it didn't work. Amy and Charlie are full of it. Yeah. 90% of the people you know are not going to move. So it's perfectly okay. You've got to make a lot of calls and then say, do you know anyone? Can you think of anyone who's looking to upsize, downsize? Homeschooling has changed things. We need 2 home offices.
Right.
Divorce, that's a little scary. I know some people who are getting divorced during COVID. There are lots of reasons to need a good realtor to guide you through this.
Excellent. No, I think that's very good. That is an A+ script. And I think it's just, just do it. And you're going to be uncomfortable the first few times you do it, but the more times you do it, the more comfortable that you get. And then eventually it becomes second nature.
Boy, that's a really good point.
Right? I mean,
don't let your lack of comfort be the thing that holds you back. Because it's like, I've talked about this gym analogy. Have you ever gone to the gym, picked up a dumbbell and said, man, nobody told me they were heavy. Throw the thing down and storm out.
Right. Yeah. I don't know how many I don't know how many shows we've done. We should probably count. We should have like a celebration when we get to like milestone shows or whatever. But we're probably better on this show than we were on our first one. It's just a hunch, right? I'm probably a better swimmer than the first time I was pushed in the pool. I'm probably a better bike rider, even though I can't remember the last time I rode a bike, than when I first rode a bike, right? So the more you do it, the better you're going to get, right? In anything. So that's a good one. Referral sites. Let's talk referral sites. There's a lot of sites that are popping up that are, we want to give you leads. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pay us every month, right? We're going to give you leads. And then when you close, you're going to send us money. UpNest is one. UpCity, Realtor.com is heading in that direction. Zillow is heading in that direction. Homelight, they're all over the TV. That's their thing, right? So I think it's important to have profiles on all of these sites, right? I think it's important to have a powerful Zillow profile, whether you're paying Zillow or not. People do Google you before you show up on that listing appointment. And are you invisible, or do you have a Google My Business page? And are you on Zillow with reviews and this, that, and the other? So my suggestion to agents would be, why not sign up for these sites? If you get a lead and you don't want it, you don't have to take it, right? But I would rather pay at closing, and I take that back. Many agents would rather pay at closing than pay up front. There's some that, that are like, no, these changes are terrible, right? I can make much more money by just giving me the leads, right? Give me the leads, give me the leads, give me the leads.
Sure.
And if that's you, then maybe Google pay-per-click is a better shtick for you, right? That way you're paying up front. Mm-hmm. But, I don't want to ignore we have agents that are like, I don't like Zillow. I'm never going to pay for Zillow. Well, great. But we know that there's more eyeballs on Zillow than any other real estate site by far. Yeah. You need to have a presence there, or people think that you're out of business.
Yeah, that's great. And just keep in mind, you pay a referral fee, because I recommended this yesterday to one of my clients, and she said, no, I pay my office 50%. I pay OpCity 35%, not doing it. I'm like,
right.
Okay, try something else then.
Yeah, right. Okay. What's next on your list?
Next on my list would be, well, actually, I want to back up, because sphere of influence still, but a special way.
Yeah, go ahead.
So many times, I've said this so many times, but I think we are so much more persuasive when we talk about real estate. Like, dropping off pumpkins this month is a really good idea. But if you want to get listing appointments, if you want to be top of mind as a listing agent, then do home value reports, right? Every single person you know who owns a house, do a home value report for them and say, wanted to keep you in the know about your home's new value. It's been a remarkable year. Eyerusalem was just giving us the stats. Crazy, crazy year. You could even just email people something like, Zillow is wrong as the headline, which is kind of, a gotcha headline. And then say, your home has gone up so much more in value this year than you could possibly imagine. Let's talk, right? Maybe people don't know how to sell during COVID. They're homeschooling, they're working from home, they're doing all these other things. So you need to have a great plan in place for how to sell your home during COVID, and then roll that out. So I would say communicate your value as a listing agent to your own sphere, because remember, it's not just that 10% of them that's probably going to move. It's the 150 or so people that they have a lot of connection with as well. You're going to endear yourself and encourage more enthusiastic referrals if you show your value rather than just say, hey, who you know, do me a favor.
No, I like that. And the whole loving on the database, we talked about this the other day. There is no better time starting in October to be loving on our database between now and about the second week in January. And then it gets really hard, right? You can maybe do some Valentine's stuff if you're a woman. If you're a guy and you do that, it may be a little bit creepy, right? But between now and 2 weeks into January, you've got Halloween opportunities, you have Thanksgiving opportunities, you have the holidays, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, etc. holidays, right? And then you have the new year. Let's be taking advantage of this. I was walking by Whole Foods the other day, and they were carving pumpkins, and I think they were 2 for $10 or 2 for $12. I thought it was a really great price, and that's not something that I typically describe Whole Foods. When I'm going through Whole Foods, I don't typically say that's a great price, but I thought it was a really good price.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, and I took a picture of it, and I need to put it on Facebook because it's like there's still time to do this. What person doesn't want a pumpkin on their front porch in October? It's just a cool look.
Yeah.
So what's keeping us from going to Whole Foods, buying 10 pumpkins today, and spending tomorrow morning from 8 to noon going around to our 10 favorite clients and giving them a pumpkin? You don't need to overthink it.
Well, yes. And for those of you who are in markets or in neighborhoods or just in your own mindset feel that that's classless during COVID, leave it on their porch. Don't ring the doorbell.
Right.
Give them a picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Again, we don't need to overcomplicate it. Right.
I want to call a timeout on mindset, because I think the first way you get more listings is you decide you're going to. The number of people I know who are calling with no intention at all or posting on social with really, do you want to buy? Do you want to buy? Look at this cool house. You want to buy? If you try to attract buyers, guess what? You will. So if you would shift your mindset and your marketing message to be all listings all the time, wake up every morning in a meditative state, wake up prayerful for listings, and you will start to focus your energy and your efforts that way. So be determined to get listings. Every single day when you make your calls or send your texts or communicating on Messenger or posting, thinking about how many listing appointments can I set today? Have that be your intention before you get going. And then when Charlie and I are done and we've listed 20 different things that you could do, pick 2, because half-assing 40 types of lead gen will not work. Focusing really hard on 3 will be great.
Yeah, and I think mindset's super important. I was speaking to somebody yesterday, and I realized he was doing the calls to please me. Well, I did my 40 calls. I'm calling so-and-so, and I know that he won't answer. I'm calling so-and-so, and I know that he doesn't have anything for me. It's like, wow, that's not the mindset that we want when we're making these calls, right? Yeah. You're going to get more no's than yeses, right? You talked about that a few minutes ago, Amy, but we need to have this mindset of abundance. And I'm calling these people because they need me, because they have questions about this market and during this crazy time. Yeah. So I would, definitely, check your mindset, like you were alluding to a minute ago. Somebody posed the question, Angie Curry, do you have a referral site list? I do. I will send that to you. I just worked one that came out of a RE/MAX company in New Jersey. So that brings me to my next idea, which is agent-to-agent referrals. Mm-hmm. Right? You and I both know people that make a fortune from agent-to-agent referrals from whatever ecosystem or ecosystems they are in. Almost everybody listening to this or watching this is in a large ecosystem in RE/MAX. Mm-hmm. Right? There are others that may be watching this that are in a large ecosystem. Tom Ferry, right? So there are huge opportunities for agents that treat this like a lead source, right? Are you making a point to go to events when there are in-person events again, right? And meeting people and getting to know them and following up with them, calling them quarterly, sending them a newsletter once a month, right? Sending them, if you know agents around the country, are they getting the same birthday cookie that your clients do? They should. They should, right? It's just part of that, A or A plus group. So there's a big opportunity here, going to a RE/MAX convention and setting up a booth and doing something unique. There was a gentleman by the name of Chuck Bowles who worked with us for 20 years probably. And his shtick was Chuck and Buddy. And he was Chuck, and he had a mini me of himself, a cardboard cutout of Buddy, and that was Buddy. And it was hokey. But he went to the RE/MAX convention every year, and he got to know people, and he got enough referrals every year to pay his fees to our company and to RE/MAX International. And everything else he kept, right? So this worked. And he was going to go to the convention and learn, and he liked to network. And it got to the point where people expected to see him, right? And a personal promotion booth, by the way, at a convention is not a lot of money. So I don't want to it's like $700. So I don't want to dwell on this because we probably won't have an in-person convention with RE/MAX come February. It's probably going to be virtual, right? But, taking the time to go to, what is that site, Amy, that tells you where people are moving from? Your Money Walks, is that it?
Oh, I don't know. I used the Forbes migration site. I don't know about
Forbes. The IRS has this information.
Okay.
My point is there are people that are moving to DC, for example. There are people moving away from DC, for example. You can look up where people are moving to, and you can look up where people are moving from, and then get on the rosters of your ecosystems and reach out to agents and say, hey, there are people that I know that are moving your way, right? I don't have anybody this second, right? But I'm trying to get a referral list going. Would you be interested in being my referral partner? And then building the list and keeping in touch with them. There is money to be made here, and do not discount the opportunity to go to events and then actually meet these people, right? Face to face, belly to belly, you'll become friends with them. You can mastermind with them. You can send them tips of what's working in your market. You could send them a link to this show, right? Which is probably more than they're getting from their brokerage now, right? Let's be real. So big opportunities there. I know people that are making six figures from doing this.
Absolutely.
Period. Every year, right? There are people within the Tom Ferry ecosystem. Tom could like quadruple the cost of coaching, and they'd be like, I'm good, I'm in, right? But they're never leaving. They're never leaving.
Now, something to keep in mind, Charlie, with what you're saying, and I want everybody to hear this, is some of these are longer term investments in lead gen. So should you do them or not? The truth is we all need now business and we all need future business. So do both, right? You need to be filling the pipeline. So when is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago would have been great.
Right.
The next best time would be this morning. So if you want a long-term lead source, start today. And so choose some of these that can be now business and some that can be future business. Another suggestion I have, Charlie, is really work on your testimonials right now. This is something that could generate now business. Either if you have not done a good enough job of asking for testimonials, or you have, but you could rack your brain and think about who were people who really happily have given you testimonials, but would be really willing to do them again, listing specific, to talk about exactly what their listing experience was with you, and then start posting those, right? You can hire some help if you don't have marketing help to craft some really cool ads or some really cool posts, and do a series of, this is why Charlie is a great listing agent. This is why, we're never moving again. It's too hard. But if we did, we'd hire Charlie.
Right.
So you could just start that right now. Put some effort into crafting some really wonderful listing success stories.
I love that. And that got me thinking about this testimonial letter that you can send on behalf of sellers as they're moving, right? This is more of a now business, right? So I just sold Amy's house. She thinks I was great. She puts together her comments. I draw up a letter. She signs it. I send it to her neighbors from her, right? And it's hey, I loved raising my family in the neighborhood, but we ain't doing another Colorado Springs winter. We're heading to Phoenix, right? It's been
Yeah.
real. You all are great. Keep in touch. Oh, by the way, Charlie Bengel was great, right? He did this, this, and this. These were the results that he got. If you're thinking about moving, you owe it to yourself to give him a call. How powerful is that? And I tell you, if you were thinking about moving and you got that letter, you would pick up the phone and call me, right?
Yeah.
Even as a second opinion, even if you had a feeling who you were probably going to list with, it's like, well, geez, this testimonial, I've never gotten one of these before. So that is now business. So those of you that are closing or have closed recently, I would implore you to consider doing that. Very few people are doing it. It's super unique. And I think it really gets the attention of the neighbors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good. I'm glad you brought that up because that was not kind of on my list.
Okay.
So what's next on we've got a couple minutes left. What would be next on your list of how to generate more listing business?
Well, some sort of neighborhood video. And
Okay.
I'm hesitating because a lot of these attract buyers. You know, when you do the, hey, I'm here in the Briarwood neighborhood and we're walking distance from my favorite place to get a oat milk latte, and there's only 13 homes available. Like that's a little bit more buyer attracting potentially. But the truth is any video content that you do that is hyper local, really specific, really genuine is going to get eyeballs of all kinds. So if you could say, we, and those of us who don't have maybe 8 buyers in the car, you know, waiting for you to find a house, the royal we at the brokerage, we at blah blah brokerage have so many more buyers than homes we can show them. There are only currently 4 homes available in this neighborhood. I'm looking, you know, to help you sell yours to one of these enthusiastic buyers. Please give me a call. So that would be just a way to get eyeballs on your brand and your proactivity, and then do it for a lot of neighborhoods. You just do it on your phone. You don't have to hire a videographer. Maybe you get a teenager to hold the phone for you so your arm isn't in the shot, but not so hard. So do some video content from around town. Another thing would be talking about the thing, Charlie, I think we could all do better is sell our actual service. Right? Okay. So say, I'm amazing, hire me. I'm fabulous, call me. That doesn't, you know, that's telling, not showing. So say the best way to get top dollar for your home is, right? So you could do a video series on here's what I do to get homes sold. And I know agents are going to say, I'm giving away all my secrets. Now they'll just do it on their own. That's not true. And you're not going to actually give them the name of your stager or, you know, send your cleaner to their house via video. So you're going to say, we have a property prep protocol. You have to tell them what it is, but just walk them through the steps and say, we have a listing launch protocol. We make this easy. We take the guesswork out of it for you. We make sure that you maximize your home's value and get it sold in the least amount of time. Now, considering multiple offers, that's the next challenge. We have a way of vetting offers and giving you all your options and making sure you make wise choices. You're not giving them the spreadsheet.
Right.
So you can do all these things, and they're leaning in. They're like, wait, what? There's a plan, right? They didn't know. They thought we just put signs in yards and wait.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot you could do to promote your actual service. And the other thing is, and I started with this, but I'm going to end with it, practice your listing process. Go look at it. I was talking to a coaching client yesterday. She said, I have all that, I have all that, I have all that. And I said, when was the last time you looked at it? Like, where is it? Basically, what she meant was she's been finding other people's checklists and downloading them. Mm-hmm. I said, okay, have you read them? Are they things you could follow if you got a listing today? Because she was like, no, I'm afraid to do listing lead gen calls because I'm afraid I'm not prepared. Read through what you have, make it true. We're all literate. It's not that hard to read and write, right? So edit those lists. Make sure that you have a plan you feel good about. Practice it every day. Your confidence will explode.
Yeah, we do not want to be practicing on people who may want to hire us for a very high-paying part-time job.
But do it. I would say practice on people, like both. Like, don't be afraid to practice on people. It's better than not.
Oh, no, I'm saying get some role play partners. And if anybody out there is listening and you need role play partners, you just contact me and we'll hook you up. Right. But practice, get 5. If this is a weakness of yours, if you're going to listings and you're losing listings to other agents consistently, please do something about it. Please get more role play partners, tweak what you're doing, close, right? Ask for the business. If they say, well, I'm going to interview someone, I got 2 more people on my list. Okay, great. Have a good evening. And you leave, you're not going to get the listing, right? So be practicing your objection handlers. And that way you have the confidence that you are the number 1 person for the job when you knock on the door for that listing appointment, and you're comfortable closing, for the signature at the end of the appointment. So practice makes perfect. I hate to see us blowing listing appointments because the only practice that we're doing is on clients, right? So last minute thoughts, we're running about a minute over.
I don't know. I think those are the last minute thoughts. Practice, practice, practice. Push yourself. Wake up half an hour earlier. Don't tell me you don't have time to practice. This is the thing that's holding you back. We think we have time to go on listing appointments and fail, or to make calls and not get appointments, but we don't have time to pull the stats. We don't have time to work on our listing presentation. Commit to providing better service. Your confidence will grow and your conversions will too.